So that's what the poster looks like for. So they're literally calling it Chucky 2.
Let's go.
All right.
I'm with it.
I
I'm
like
with
it.
it. I'm
I
with it.
like it.
I'm all the way with it. What's going on out there, YouTube family? We are here to talk about Chucky season 1. Even though today, November the 29th, has been greenlit for a second season. If you hadn't seen the finale, make sure you go and check out our full review for that. Me and this dude here, which I will introduce in just a second, break that completely down in a spoiler-filled review. But we're about to talk about the whole season. What's going on, Eris?
What is going on, Sam? Good to be back. Talking
Yes,
Chucky whole season. Let's go.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
I am rocking the best Chucky movie ever, which is Child's Play 2. Don't disrespect the Child's Play 1. I love 1, but I saw 2 in theaters and I love that movie.
Look, all I can say is we need to have a watch party about that.
I'm down.
I'm ready. I'm ready for that. Ready for Thing. We actually supposed to have been doing Ghostbusters 1. We supposed to do a watch party for that. But we'll talk. We'll talk. But anyway, so
We're talking Killer Dolls.
We had a conversation, you, me, and Lucas, early on. We did a watch party for Child's Play 1. Then we had already seen maybe like 3 episodes, maybe, of season 1. I think roughly around that time. So from where we started there and we had our conversation to now, how did the season treat you?
So I'll say this for anyone who thought that season 1, or at least the first 3 episodes of season 1, starts out super slow. You know, we like Chucky only killed 1 person, and everyone believed that, oh, it's only going to be like a 1-person death per episode or something like that. And that definitely turned out to not be the case. I mean, by the time we got through episode 5, we started seeing the body count go up tremendously.
Dude.
Also, it's for me, it was an experience. You know, I never thought I would ever see the day that Chucky gets his own TV show.
Right.
You know, I always thought that Child's Play Chucky would just be a series of movies, because not everything that's been a series of movies translates well into TV shows.
True.
Some people like the Friday the 13th series. I think I only watched maybe a couple of episodes, and I'm like, it's not the same as watching the movies. And a couple of other shows, a couple of other movies have had their own television shows, and it just doesn't hit the same.
I know what you did last summer.
Yeah, but this show to me hit it. I mean, it's super lore heavy. Like, you have to watch all 7 movies to pick up on any references that they happen to drop. Because the thing is, they drop references out of nowhere a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And every time I hear, like, in half the time when I hear, not even half the time, 100% of the time when I hear a reference, I'm just like, I'm doing that move from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where I'm pointing at the screen. I'm doing the Leonardo DiCaprio. As soon as someone mentions something from Child's Play 3, I'm like, he did the thing.
Dude, half the time I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, I don't know what this reference to, but I feel like it's something important that I've missed out. And so for me, you know, not having seen all of them, and only the last one I saw was Bride of Chucky, I kind of was like, this show has made me want to go back and watch them. This show has made me want to go and check out the Cult of Chucky. It's made me want to go and see, you know, what is the lore behind like a character like Nika. I have no idea her progression. I have no idea how she got to this point, but it felt like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Eris, that from whatever the last Mark Hamill film, from the last one before that, they just went and picked up from that point. Is that correct?
That is correct. They only cover from Child's Play 1 to 7, which is Cult of Chucky, and before that was Curse of Chucky. Before that was Seed of Chucky, then Bride of Chucky, Child's Play 3, 2, and 1.
So with Seed of Chucky, that was when he had his kid.
That's correct.
What was his kid's name?
All right. This is going to be...
Because I got a real questions.
Okay, so if you think back to the first... I think it was the first or second... No, the second episode when Chucky first talks to Jake and he says, I have a gender fluid kid.
Right.
That references... he was talking about his son or daughter named Glenn or Glenda. And it was the most confused child ever because his kid actually came from Japan because that's where he was made. And he actually tracked down his parents. He tracks down...
What?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. Okay, full disclosure. This movie is terrible. All right, Seed of Chucky is awful. It is.
Alexa, lights on.
It is by far the worst. It's by far the worst one out of all 7. Mm-hmm. But it's, for lack of a better term, it's batshit insane. That's how crazy this like Seed of Chucky was. Now, yes, you know, to answer your question, Chucky actually does have a child, and I'm not going to spoil, but yeah, he has one.
Okay.
It was kind of obvious too, since you watched Bride of Chucky, and did you see what happened at the end of the movie before it hit the credits?
I did, but I was kind of like, where are we going with this? And so that's what I was really curious about, because they mentioned it briefly in the season, but then they didn't make a reference to it. But it does add on to something very fascinating. It's almost as though Chucky is taking some of these kids underneath his wing, and it's 2 different reasons. It's 2 different reasons. We found out the last episode that it's like, if he can get a kid to murder somebody, he can use that as a conduit to create another version of himself. I guess is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay.
If you watch Curse of Chucky,
okay,
it makes a lot more sense to what you just said.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. But even deeper than that, it was almost as though, like, initially he was like, he came to Jake. Like, he went to Jake.
He did.
And it was almost as though he was trying to groom Jake to be like him. And he did the same thing with Junior.
Yep.
Later on. And it was kind of like, I was like, it seems like he's kind of living vicariously, like almost like he's got them as his own son. You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't know if it was kind of like Chucky felt like, you know, I want somebody that is gonna be like a successor for me, because I don't have that. I was kind of curious.
Nah, it's not so much a successor, because if you think about it, and again, you got to watch Seed of Chucky, he made it was that moment, you know, that meme when the villain makes sense. He had that moment where he said something. It was a grand speech in front of Tiffany, and it made by far the most sense out of anything that he's ever said or done in the whole series of movies up to that point.
Oh, wow.
So in his case, he's not looking for a successor. He's just looking for someone that he can corrupt, coerce, and twist into doing what he wants. Because at the end of the day, he's a sociopath. He's a psychopath. I mean, he's Chucky, the killer doll, and he is super infamous.
Right.
And in a way, he's almost immortal.
I mean, he technically is. If he can split off his soul into different pieces, and now we find he can split it off into other people, like, it goes. I mean, technically, even with Child's Play 1, he tried to do that initially, and I was waiting for him to do that with this one right here. I really did.
Yeah, see, think about that. He's had 3 movies of him trying to do that, at least 3, and they never worked.
It didn't.
It never worked. So instead he tries to do the other thing they tried to do at that point was they tried to transfer, oh god, I love that image. The other thing they tried to do is they tried to transfer their souls into other people, not even kids, just other people. And when that didn't work, they're like, you know what, why don't we just stay who we are?
Right.
It's like, just stay who we are. And then it wasn't until it's not until Cult of Chucky where he's able to split his soul into pieces. That's where he first learned how to do it, was in that movie.
So what did you feel about the backstory scenes? Like all the scenes that were flashbacks.
So
because I have some feelings on them. I'm just curious your perspective.
Okay, so the backstory in this, and I kind of agree with Lucas on this when we were talking about it. Lucas did make a point. You kind of diminish the whole mystery and coolness of a villain, especially a slasher villain, when you have to explain, like, full in detail, explain the backstory of that character. And Chucky is one of those characters that I didn't necessarily want to know his backstory.
Right.
But the show gave it to me anyway, and I just accepted it. I had a feeling that we were gonna run into his first partner, Eddie Caputo. Like when they name dropped that character, I was like, there he is. I said, I recognize that one. Anyone who's seen the movie, you know who that kid is, who he grows up to be later. But I think by far probably my favorite out of all the flashbacks. No, not the one when when it's revealed that he killed his own mom. I thought, wow, that's crazy. That's really insane. So he was born that way, pretty much. Nothing psychologically, nothing like scarred him, mentally or nothing like that. He's always been like that.
He's just off, period. Yeah.
So, but out of all of the flashbacks that I enjoyed, the one that hit me the most was when it had the specific date. When it said November 1988, and Chucky tells Tiffany, "I'm going out, don't wait up," and you see her get angry. She calls the cops,
right?
And then we get another lore drop when she said, "Let me speak to Detective Mike Norris." I was like, there it is. As soon as she said that, I was like, so this is how the cops got a hold of him. Especially when she told Chucky that at the was it in the middle of episode 8? She was like, "You ever want to know how the cops managed to find you the night that you got gunned down? Like I was the one that tipped them off."
So I was going to ask you about that. So she told that Chucky, but that doesn't mean that the other Chuckies know that, right? Because think about it like this: like Nika heard from the other Chucky about something.
Yeah, something that he did and he didn't even know.
So she still has that secret underneath her belt because he said, and I quote, "I'm gonna get you for this." But I don't think there's no way he's gonna be able to remember because it's gonna be a different Chucky next time.
Unless one of the other Chuckies happen to catch wind of it.
I mean, was there another one at that time? I know
there was plenty of them in the room.
I know Junior was holding one.
Yeah, he was holding one.
And that's how he ended up with the one that Junior tried to set up Lexi, bro. That was messed up.
Yeah, he did. But you also got to remember that Nika, the one that split off into Nika, that Chucky has been around probably since Seed of Chucky, because he does disguise himself at one point in the other movies. And he reveals himself with the whole scarring and all, like the scarred face and all that. So that one's been around, and that one still retained all of the all the information. Now, again, even though he could split his soul, it's possible he could split his own memories.
Yeah,
they could. That's something that could be explored later.
Right. I think that's going to be very fascinating if they're going down that route. But there was something I wanted to talk to you about specifically. I'm trying to find the picture of it. This right here, I found it. Let me back it up real quick. You got to explain to me,
Okay,
what the flip is going on here, because I don't feel like the story of season 1 has expressed what was really happening. Because all Tiffany said supposedly to Junior, or Junior's dad said that she's someone that knew your mom. I think he was lying.
I
And
can
then
answer that.
And then Junior had a conversation with her, and she kind of was like, seemed like because it felt like she's more connected to this family than what is being led on. But I'm curious from your perspective, what is going on here?
Okay, I can answer that. So from my perspective, that whole thing was a ruse to get Junior on Chucky's side to begin with. And think about it. You get the mom out of the way, you cause all this confusion, and then you have this random woman, this you have this random waifu show up.
Mm-hmm.
She shows up, straight up kisses, the widowed husband,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "I'm so terribly sorry for your loss," and then just pieces out in front of the son, by the way, which is already going to have him questioning. He gets to start drinking, and this leads to Junior believing that my dad's been cheating on my mom this whole time. She shows up at the funeral, and yada yada yada, and all of this is just turning. The wheels start turning in Junior's head, and of course Chucky is right there waiting to pick up the pieces and twist him even further. This whole thing was a collaborative effort between Tiffany and Chucky.
Okay.
So that's why that's what I believe the situation was. Now, the whole thing about her kissing him, Chucky was not in on that part.
That's why I'm saying, because it felt like Tiffany. I've always suspected that Jake and Junior's family were tied to Chucky in a way that hasn't been revealed yet, because it was almost like Chucky found Jake as much as he was trying to work with Junior. And it's kind of like, I don't know enough about the dad's past. I just know they're twins. I know they had some kind of rough upbringing here or there.
Mm-hmm.
But the weird thing to me is, I was like, when Tiffany did that, and she said to Junior, she was like, "Well, I've already said too much. He hasn't said anything to you." I knew it was alluding that Chucky was who she was talking about, but it was like, I felt like there was something else there, and I just suspected, and I wondered whether or not it was tied to their actual family.
I
But
don't think
now
so.
it doesn't matter in this point, because Junior's dead, even though Jake's still alive.
But like that
Now,
whole family's pretty much done.
but I don't know. I felt like there's a lot of seeds they put there,
Well,
and I don't know why.
Well, this is why you got to watch the other Child's Play movies, because in in Curse of Chucky, Chucky talks to Nika, and he mentions like every family member from from the previous movies that he's literally destroyed. He mentions Andy's family. He mentions the Kincaids from Bride of Chucky, and he mentions another family, and then he mentions her family. So it's just his thing. It's his game that he plays. He focuses on a subject. He starts with one person, But as he's working with that one person, he'll take out everybody else in the whole family.
Right.
One fell swoop.
Right. I do think that they did a good job with Darren and Jacob, because I was slightly worried that they were trying to use it like a stick, but it kind of felt really wholesome. Like it kind of was like it just is a natural thing that was really going on. And I don't know, like you know how like they sometimes they do that for other reasons, but instead it felt like for this it was just really just a natural thing. It was just like Jake just happens to have feelings for this man. And then
Well,
interesting thing about Devin's mom was the cop.
Yep.
And it makes for a really interesting back and forth as far as the storyline, because the mom is trying to figure out what's going on, and all of it's tied to this boy that she knows, and she's trying to kind of keep secret that, you know, her son really likes. And so did you see the cop getting killed early on? Because I never thought that was going to happen.
Well, I'll say this. When her partner got axed, I'm like, you know what? It's open season. I'm like, at this point, between that episode and the last episode, one thing is definitely made very clear. Anybody can get it.
Right.
Anybody can get it. So me seeing Chucky leap out of the laundry chute and he tried to hang on to Devin's mom, and then that caused her to fall down the stairs and break her neck.
Dog.
When I saw that, I said, "Ooh."
Like the parents were taking L's, bro.
I'm like, son, she ain't coming back in season 2.
Like the parents were taking L's. Honestly, I felt so bad for Junior's mom, because initially I thought Junior's mom was a cheater. That's what I thought her secret was.
Yeah, everybody thought that.
And then turns out the woman's got cancer. She's been dying.
Yep.
And it's like, you know, she's trying to make it work. She kind of felt connected with the family. She's just sitting there looking out the scope, and Chucky set her up so bad, bro. And then pushed her tail out that gosh darn window. And Junior, like, even the way they shot that, her head was through the glass.
Yep.
And Junior was just, I was like,
this kid is gonna need so much therapy.
Like it was well done from a horror standpoint, but it was sick. I was just...
Even Chucky had that look on that shock look. You know, he did the Home Alone thing. He's like, and again, I just wish he could have used that line from Cult of Chucky, which was, sometimes I even scare myself. I wish he could. That would have been a perfect moment for him to say that.
But so what about these two? What did you think about these two included into the season?
Oh yeah, seeing the return of Kyle and Andy was definitely something I've been waiting for. I was like, please give me an episode when these two show up. Like, I need them back together. I need to see more of them. You know, they did a great job of taking out Chucky when they were kids, and now that they're in their clearly in their 40s, right. You know, like it's gonna be even better because they both, like, this shot alone, the both of them pulled the Pulp Fiction and just
definitely did.
They just emptied the clip in that one Chucky they found in South Carolina.
Bruh, I feel so bad for that black family.
I did too, but hey, you know what? At the end of the day,
he saved their life.
Yes, he did. That black family survived. They have no way of explaining what happened, or just know that you survived.
Probably the little girl is like, why is this dog bleeding? Where is all this blood coming from? Bro, like I couldn't even, if I was the dad of that family, I probably wouldn't even tell the cops. I'd probably be like, you know what?
I would have burnt every doll in that house.
Right. We're taking these dolls. These dolls got to get up out of here.
It's like,
we might have to move real quick because I don't know if anybody's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who those people were. They weren't cops.
They were from the they said they were from the Census Bureau, and I don't even believe. I was already having a hard time believing that.
Right. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, no. As far as the characters, who was your favorite character?
Oh man,
outside of Chucky.
Yeah, because Chucky's always gonna be my favorite character. But well, I guess you should say who was your favorite survivor?
Well, you know what? I don't know. Even if somebody died that you like, it's fine.
By far, for me, it was definitely Jake.
Yeah,
Jake was my favorite, and only because he finally got, at least for the season, he got the last laugh on Chucky.
He did.
That choke out was so perfect.
He definitely did.
No, because real talk, no one's ever killed Chucky by choking him out, and he's supposed to be known as the Lakeshore Strangler. That's who Charles was known as. And to see him getting killed by strangulation is just pure irony.
That joint felt like it was intentional. Jake was like, you know what?
Like, bro,
I don't need that. I'm gonna use my gosh darn hands. I'm using my mitts.
He's like, I don't need a knife. I don't need a gun. I don't need nothing. I'm running all of these hands. These hands is rated E for everyone.
Old days, all the nutting days, they're back.
Like fam, he ran the fade so quick on Chucky. Like, probably my favorite, like between him choking him out and my other favorite was him. Was when he took the doll, aka Billy, and he took it out of the box, the one that he grabbed from that delivery guy.
Mm-hmm.
When he took that one, he was like, "Go ahead and talk to me," and he just says, "Hi, I'm Billy." My man pulled him out of the box, started banging him against the rail.
Banking that joker, bro. He was like, "Not today,
son." When he tossed him up against, like, dude, that was a full seismic toss against the wall.
Yeah, like he was like, "Not today." And I mean, I get it,
and
because
Chucky,
like, this kid, he's gone through a lot. Like, the moment that this happened was like episode 1.
That was episode 1.
And he's like, what the flip is going on here? I didn't say anything. Like, Chucky's been literally spinning this kid like a top. Mm-hmm. And he keeps on turning it around fire, basically. Because initially he was messing with him. Then he was trying to change him. At the point that, you know, Jake tried to wise up and kill him, then he was like, all right, bet. I'm about to kill everybody you love. And you're going to just watch. There's nothing you can do about it.
It's like, I tried to get you into the game and you just couldn't do it.
Because when remember when, I forget what happened. Like, they beat Chucky's body supposedly in the trash can.
And they thought they killed him.
And then the head kind of popped off and they thought he was dead.
Yep.
And then Chucky was like, out of retaliation, cut the freaking principal's head off and wrote it in the same exact. I was like, this dog's sick, bro.
I love the fact that he just took a complete innocent. He used the principal.
Completely innocent. She did nothing.
She was a super innocent. Did nothing wrong. And the fact that you saw her in the theater talking to people before she got killed, and when you saw her head come rolling out onto the stage, I was like, son, that principal was innocent. She didn't do nothing wrong. Why did you kill her? Oh, I get it. You did it to prove a point. But that was probably one of the coolest ways of saying I'm still alive.
Dude, that joint was sick, bro. Like, I was really surprised that they just did that. But it definitely hyped me back up. Like, I was excited. It lit a fire underneath the kids' butts. Like, they were like, well, what the heck are we gonna do? But
we killed him. I swore that we killed. Nah, fam.
Right. All right, so what were some things you didn't like out of the season?
The only thing, so far, one of the things I didn't like was I just didn't like how slow the first I'd say probably the first 3 episodes were. They definitely go by slow.
Yeah.
They went slower than normal. Like this type of slow pace doesn't even exist in the movies. Like even the movies don't even go this slow.
Right.
That was just one negative I had, was just how slow everything was moving. The other thing I had was, and this is more so against the movies rather than the show, but when they keep making the flashbacks to Charles's past life when he was human, I always wondered why. I always wondered, like, how are they going to play up to the moment when he gets chased by the cops and he gets gunned down? Like, how are they going to set that up? And when they revealed how it happened, I said, so you guys literally retconned a moment in Curse of Chucky by doing this. And again, you got to watch the movie to understand, like to understand what I mean. But when you watch in the show, it's like, oh, so y'all just straight up retcon that. Okay. All right. Because it did throw me off too. But I think the other thing, and this probably was there's nothing against Brad Dourif. I mean, I get it. Dude is definitely aged, but it took until this season finale for us to get the full Chucky laugh. I get it. He couldn't do it in every single episode, but like his classic Chucky laugh was what I've been waiting to hear. It's like watching, it's like watching not a Batman movie, but just an episode of Batman the Animated Series, and Joker is in it, and he doesn't do his signature laugh the entire episode until like the very end. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Like we finally got it. But I get it. The guy's been Chucky for like over 30 years.
Yeah, is that guy in his 60s or is he in his 50s?
I think he's in his 60s.
Goodness. For me, the negatives that I had were honestly the flashbacks. I felt like the moment that they make reference to his old partner, and then Chucky kind of just goes off.
Yeah.
From that point, that should have been the end of the flashbacks.
It should have been.
I didn't need to see him with Tiffany. I mean, for fan servicey part, for people that really love it, I'm not gonna discredit it, but it was just something. It was just weird to me with the voiceover.
Yeah, that was definitely some ADR.
It felt so cringy sometimes, and honestly, the actresses and actor that is doing it, they may be great actors, but I just couldn't get behind it at all. And it was kind of like, I also didn't want to see it for the same exact reasons that Lucas was saying. Like, I was like, I don't need to see this whole progression.
Yeah.
All I need, I mean, they gave me enough. I was like, I know now that this kid was already messed up. And then he got a little bit older, and seemed like he might be changing. Well, no, he's worse.
Yeah,
so
he's been that way since the jump.
And so from that point, that's all I needed, because then I would be like, okay, you lead me up to the age of the kids that are playing in the same as that role. And I was like, that's all I really needed. All the rest of the flashbacks, I mean, except for the one in episode 8, which kind of gave you, like you said, the lead up to a child's play. I felt like all of that was just a waste of time. It was a waste of space. It kind of sucked the air out of the room every time it was happening. And I mean, some moments I liked, but then most of it I was like, I don't know. I couldn't get behind those scenes at all.
I can give you a flashback that I think would have been a whole lot more beneficial. Like this one flashback alone would have been worth 4 of the flashbacks that were thrown at us out of the total of flashbacks. It was definitely more than 4, but this one, if they had just put this one flashback in, it'd have been worth at least 4. You could have X'd out 4 of the flashbacks in substitute for this one. The perfect flashback to use would have been the first time Chucky meets John, the witch doctor. From the first
because we
movie.
never really
We just know
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
you're right.
The only
I
thing
didn't
that
even think about it.
the only thing we caught was just him holding the voodoo book and talking about it was just a hobby. And
Yeah, hobby
I'm
you
like,
picked up.
I was like, well, why not explore that some more? Why don't why don't we see the first time that you met John and you learn, you learn the like how to cast a spell to transfer your soul and how to beat death and all that stuff. I mean, these are flashbacks I would have personally liked to see.
Right. And I think that what they could have done is that they would have stopped with the flashbacks right at where he went off from the partner. And in
Yeah.
season 2, the flashback picked up on how this started as far as the voodoo side. That would have made sense. Like, I think they just, I ain't gonna say they overkilled it, but they kind of did. And it's like everything else, every time a flashback wasn't on, I was all there.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I was all the way there. I was like, I'm loving this. Like, this is crazy. And I think big part of the thing that works with this is the kids. I really did like the kids. Like, I think that you gotta sell me on the kids. If I find these kids are annoying or I hate them, or I don't love to hate them,
like you want them to go.
right? Like it's kind of like, no, it doesn't work. I am curious what's gonna happen with Lexi's sister. I predict Chucky's gonna use her later on.
Here's what I think.
Do.
Here's what I think is gonna happen. If it worked in Curse of Chucky, it can work on the TV show. That's all I'm gonna say. Because you haven't seen it. So you gotta watch Curse and Cult.
Okay.
Just watch those 2 movies. That's all I gotta say. If it worked in those movies, it can work in the show.
Okay. Whatever that means. And okay, this is another negative because they're just as a critic. It's a negative for me as a critic, but it's not a negative for me as a person who's watching it because it's gonna make me want to go back and see stuff. At the end of the day, from a critical standpoint, there's like Eric said, there are things that I just don't know. I don't have the movie knowledge to put 2 and 2 together, so I'm like, it's blank spots. So if I didn't have somebody like Eris that were able to fill those blank spots, and I didn't have Google, which everybody has Google, or if I didn't care, then it's kind of like, this wasn't necessarily for me unless I had to want to do a deep dive into all 7 movies, which eventually I'm going to do. But it technically is a negative, but that's just me nitpicking. I really did enjoy this season, man. Like I had fun going back through it. I think it got better progressively after episode 3. By the time we got to episode 4, like after the party and Lexi's house burning down, did you think Lexi was gonna die during that scene?
I half expected her to die in that scene. I was like, man, he was really gung ho about killing her, even burning the house down. But when I saw that she was still alive, I'm like, okay, why is she still alive?
Right.
But then I thought, ooh, what if he transferred his soul into Lexi?
Right. I really felt like what would have been interesting, and it's not a negative, it's just more of a suggestion, is that when Junior and Chucky stab each other, what would have been so interesting to me is if Junior would have survived, but it wasn't Junior anymore, and nobody knew.
Yeah,
I feel like that would have been freaking dope because
that Junior was Chucky,
right? And it'd be like Chucky finally did it, like he finally got a kid, and nobody knows. Because I think that Jake, Devin, and of course Lexi would have all tried to cover up for Junior. They would have said he tried to brainwash you. It's okay. But I think, honestly, if Junior did, they would have been dead. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, unless it's a Nika situation where, he keeps going back and forth, like, he would have killed them.
Yep.
He would have killed them they would, at the end of the season, they would have been just all chilling. And all of a sudden, like, Devin's just dead on the ground. Jake is like, what the flip is going on?
Yep.
and this Chucky's like laughing. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet, or something like that. But yeah, nah. Going into season 2, what do you anticipate?
So when I'm anticipating for season 2, we're gonna see more Andy and Kyle. We're gonna see we're definitely gonna see the Tiffany doll more. We're gonna get some more Jennifer Tilly action. And I would not be surprised if if this series decides to go more movie lore heavy. We see the return of the Kincaids from Bride of Chucky. Oh god, this would be really interesting if they brought in Tyler from Child's Play 3, because since Andy did make references to military school, I wouldn't be surprised if he kept in touch with them.
Hmm.
And who else? Yeah, that's really all we're missing. We're just missing a couple of key characters who still survived from from the previous Chucky movies. Hell, there was also Andy's love interest from Child's Play 3, De Silva.
So,
It's possible she can make an appearance.
So do you think the army of Chuckies are going to get unleashed?
That is also very possible, since Tiffany did stop Andy. So there's that. Unless he tries to get the drop on her or something. I don't know.
Well, I think the only thing that would stop it is Tiffany. If Tiffany's like, yeah, nah, I got other plans.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. So for me, as far as the main characters, I don't know where the kids are going to go. And also, I said this even with you and Lucas, that I felt like it was about to be a weird quasi love triangle going on. And at this point, it might, because Dagon Jr.'s dead. And Lexi downright said to Jake, like, what about your family? Jake's like,
yeah,
my family's dead. And she's like, no, the family you chose, me and Devin. I was like, Lexi, what you saying?
I wouldn't even think of it. I wouldn't think of it as more of a. I definitely wouldn't think of it like that. I believe it's going to be more like how Andy and Kyle are family, because they were foster brother and sister and survivors of Chucky, and they kept in touch for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be something like that. They're pretty much going to be. They're going to be this generation's version of them.
I would think that makes sense, but they always do this, unfortunately, with these kids and young adults, is they find ways of making a love triangle. And I think that it'd be too easy just for it to be like Jake and Devin. And it's crazy, as sick as it sounds, I feel like they're trying to set something crazy up for Lexi and Jake. And only reason why I say that is because they've got some deep-seated hate and love mixed in. And I really do feel like something's going to happen to Devin, unfortunately. I really don't, because I actually like Devin.
Yeah, a lot of people like Devin. I enjoyed him. I thought he was definitely a cool character. But but I really see this is definitely going to be more not necessarily Jake's story. It's just it's still Chucky's story at the end of the day. But I really just want to see when it all boils down to him and Andy, because I think that's what it really boils down to.
Yeah, it will. But I just wonder. I still really feel like Jake's family is tied some kind of way. It's just too coincidental, the fact that this is the same exact town.
Yeah, like it's the same town. It's the same town that he came from.
It's too coincidental to me. And I don't know why. Like, I feel like there's some kind of tie there, and I don't know what it is.
The reason why I don't believe that to be true is because, honestly, this could have been anybody. Chucky shows up as a doll, and it was just that time for anybody. Because remember, he's a serial killer. he has a particular way of going about killing his victims.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to necessarily. Well, of course, he takes the time to get to know them, and because he's a doll, he can infiltrate even easier. And of course, he can always hide behind the innocence of children.
Yep.
So that's what makes him being a killer doll so easy, and how it works is that he can do the stuff and no one would ever believe that he did it.
It's true.
So
it's true.
That's why when we first see him being sold at a garage sale, I always wanted to know, like, who was it that was trying to sell him? I said, where did that come from? That somebody had this thing and they were trying to sell him.
Yeah, like, did he coerce somebody to do it, or somebody was like, "Yeah, I got to get this thing off of me." We talked about this in episode 8. Unfortunately, Nika, she had a bad rap.
Bruh,
She had an Anakin moment happen to her. She got her legs, her arms cut off by Tiffany, and it's probably one of the roughest things I've seen the show do. Because I felt so bad for Nika that her body's literally being used by these psychopaths. Like, one's being used by Tiffany for her own reasons, and then Chucky's literally using her body. So
he's stuck in there until he finds a way to transfer his soul out of it.
But it's like, I don't know, man. I felt so bad for her, bro. And it's like, where does her character go from here? She ain't got no legs. She ain't got no arms. Like, what's she gonna do?
See, and that's the other thing too. Sam. You already feel bad for her now. Watch Curse and Cult of Chucky, and then the whole thing comes full circle, and you really gonna feel bad for her.
Yeah, because I don't know. I really don't know what happened to even bring her in the fray. I do have a random picture that doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to pull it up really quick.
Yeah, if you got it, I could probably tell you.
Let's see here. Yeah, this makes absolutely no sense to me.
Okay. All right. So the shot to the left, that was when she snapped out of her being controlled by Chucky. And when she tells the guy that they had tied up that Chucky killed my family, blah, blah, blah. This is the shot to the right. Wait, is that your mic?
We're good.
All right. Anyway, the picture to the right, that is from Cult of Chucky. And she makes an appearance in that movie too.
Yeah, that Chucky looks borderline sick.
No, see,
with the buzz cut.
Yeah, he's got a buzz cut and everything, but again, there's God, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it because it has such a good payoff for why that Chucky shows up. And and this is just you pretty much see the start of where Chucky was able to split himself.
Okay.
It starts in this movie.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to watch
just watch the movie, Sam, and then come back to me, and then everything is going to start to make sense.
Yeah.
Now that we're done with the season, watch the other movies, please.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there anything else. Ooh, I got it. What was your favorite death scene? Because we talked about episode 8 in the freaking in the movie theater, dude.
Okay, victim death. My favorite victim death in the movie.
Oh, that's right. It also had a kill cam at the end of the last episode. Like,
there was
Chucky
a body
was
count.
like, "Oh, let's check my body count." I was just like, "What?"
But let me think. My favorite victim death. There was at least 2, and
I mean, you can pick one of Chucky's deaths too if you want to.
Oh, I'll pick one of his in a minute. But my favorite victim death, it's honestly a toss up.
Please don't be the cleaning lady.
Nope, it wasn't hers. Hers was too quick. My favorite ones, honestly, was Bree's death and Logan's death. Bruh, I'm sorry. Anyone who gets the Negan treatment is you're up there.
Bruh.
First,
Look.
no, because it's the first time we've actually seen somebody use Chucky as a weapon.
Right.
That deserves points.
Yeah, like he had blood smears on his face, not because he cut somebody open, but because their brain matter or whatever is on his face from like it was rough, man.
I mean, my man Junior took the swing. I mean, he put he put his all into them swings. I was like, bruh, he went full Negan.
He did. He definitely did.
I was really like, I almost half expected him to tell his dad, I'm just getting started. And then how do you end that scene? How do you end that scene with Junior and Chucky singing "We Got the Beat"? I'm like, yo, this is the greatest episode ever.
Like it was Junior sitting there just laughing. I was like, what the flip is going on here? This kid's lost his mind.
Yeah, man.
All right. So what was your favorite Chucky death then?
Favorite Chucky death again. Dude, the irony. He gets choked out. My man got choked out by Jake. Jake, let's be real. Jake, he has been waiting for that moment since episode 1.
Yeah.
It's like he's been waiting to do this his whole life.
He definitely has.
Because I don't know, between I would say between me getting satisfaction of watching him just like wreak havoc on all of his sculptures of dolls. Because like you see him the first time when he made that one doll statue of Lexi, and he just stabbed the crap out of it.
He did. Yo, Jake low key tried to. He was gonna kill Lexi.
Oh, he wanted to. He wanted to.
Because when was it? When after her house burnt down,
mm-hmm.
and Lexi was like, "Did you want to kill me? Were you trying to kill me?"
And the fact that she is just antagonizing him and just trying to get him to be like, yeah, I wanted to kill you. You're a terrible person. And as soon as she took that fall off of that ledge, and then there's Chucky, I'm like, bro, Chucky went back to the house. He waited.
Bruh, it was like freaking the Lost World all over again. Like he was trying to get her. He was trying to get her, bro.
Let me tell you something. Seeing the work print version of that episode it made that scene several times funnier than how scary it looks in the actual episode. Because when you're seeing the puppeteers all dressed in black and they're trying to control Chucky, it's like 7 of them, and I'm just watching this. I'm like, you're literally watching this doll just move up and down and acting like he's stabbing her. I said, I'm supposed to be terrified for her, but I am cracking up right now because this crap is hilarious. You got like I know when you and I got a chance to screen it, that's what I tried to tell you. I was like, dude, hurry up and watch that scene right now before they put out the final episode, because the rough cut is too good.
So you say that you're probably gonna buy this if and when this releases out on DVD or Blu-ray?
Oh, absolutely. If a physical copy exists, I'll get it. I'll definitely get it. I'll get my hands on it just to put it in my collection. And I'll keep the digital.
Yeah, basically that's what I've been doing. All right, so let's go ahead and put the
one more thing. My other favorite Chucky death, Tiffany killing Chucky.
Oh, her slicing his freaking neck.
Yeah, her slicing his neck open. I'm like, that was quite satisfying.
It was savage.
That was really savage. I'm like, bro, you gonna make this poor girl, this poor woman, choose between killing Nika or what was it? It was like either kill Nika or Chucky was gonna kill everybody.
He did say that. He did say he would kill everybody there. And she couldn't do it. And Junior, I can't remember why Junior. What did Junior do?
Actually, no, he didn't do anything. He was about to do something, but then that's when Tiffany stepped in and killed Chucky instead.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, can we say possibly that Tiffany is as savage of a killer as Chucky?
Sometimes I think she's more. I think she's actually more dangerous than Chucky. She has the potential of being more savage and more dangerous than he is. Because every time that she kills him, he's always caught off guard, always caught by surprise when it happens.
Yeah, and it ain't because he lets his guard down. Like, she's just nuts.
Yeah, he just really has that look like, you really did this. Like, you really killed me.
Yeah, it makes sense why he loves her, because she's certifiable all day. And like, she honestly, the things that she does is some of the most savage things in the show. Sometimes I can't get over her laugh. Sometimes it's really cringy to me. I sometimes I really can't take it. Probably because
Tiffany's laugh.
Probably because I'm still traumatized by Bride of Chucky. That's honestly probably why I have issue with all of it. But yeah, man. What do you think of the whole season? What do you rate the season?
Again, I'm okay. So again, as it stands, I rate the whole season a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9. Actually, no, sorry. I gave the final episode a 9. I'm gonna rate the whole season honestly at 8.5. Just I had to dock some points because of the slowness of the first 3 episodes.
Right. For me, and
the flashbacks.
Yeah, that's where I have so many problems with it, and unfortunately, that's gonna put it up to a 8 or 7.5 out of 10 for me. Because I have a lot of things going against me. I haven't seen all the movies.
Yeah, you got to see the movies. Your score will be higher if you've seen the movies.
I can't stand Tiffany's laugh because of Bride of Chucky. I don't like the flashbacks. I felt like the first episode I thought was pretty good. I understood why it needed to be slow, but the next 2 after that, it just really didn't go anywhere. And if somebody really legitimately asked me, okay, after 5, I only watched 3 episodes, should I continue? I wouldn't be able to say. I'm like, well, you can put a chance on it. It could be really good. But I think we even said that. We were like, we both said like it has potential to be good, but we really didn't know. And so I do think it definitely got better. I do love the characters. I do love the progression. I do love a lot of the deep cuts, even the deep cuts I don't understand. It makes me want to go back and go rewatch these, and I will. And we're gonna do watch parties for I think the 3rd one, or actually no, 2nd one next. And I'll watch Colt and what's the other one?
Colt and Curse
next. But yeah, I rest this at like a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. I mean, I really did dig this season, man. And I think if they make the flashbacks better, I think if they just go straight in strong with the 2nd season, make sure they got their script tight, they're not just twiddling their thumbs, I think they have something really special on their hands and they can really make it work.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I don't think I have anything else. I feel like we went over. Oh wait, the teacher. So who the flip is she?
She's just a teacher, unless it's like, unless it gets revealed that she happens to be somebody else, or she knows a thing or two about what they've been dealing with, or even if she happens to know the history of Chucky or something. I don't know. That's someone else I believe we're going to see a lot more of in season 2. We're probably going to see more of the teacher.
Yeah, because she said she went to juvie. And she also seemed like she had like a weird little past. And it's just things we just don't know. And also, I don't understand why she was at the grave site. Like, did she drive the kids there?
I think she probably did.
It's like, why? Why would you get involved at this point when they literally thought that you were the killer? So I don't know. I do think that there's something to her character. I'm curious to see where they're gonna go with it. But yeah, I don't got nothing else, man.
Yep.
We're about to sign out, ladies and gentlemen, because it's late. It's almost 1:00. We gotta go to work in the morning.
That we do.
So, Eris, you wanna plug?
Yeah. Be sure to follow us on 3 Black Geeks. Just Google. We got 3blackgeeks.com. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, iTunes, and TikTok, and many others. Yeah, be sure to check us out. Give us likes, comments, please. We'd appreciate that. Drop us a line, talk to us. We'll talk back. You know what it is. And yeah, that's it.
We are gonna go, and we will have some more Chucky content coming for season 2. We will be doing a watch party on Twitch for Child's Play 2. I'll be on my own looking at the other 2 movies, and maybe I might bring Eris on for some kung fu action possibly later on. I don't know.
Oh boy,
there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of this to talk about. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Definitely go and check out our spoiler-filled review of episode 8. I'm thinking I'm probably going to drop this maybe a few days after that. So definitely drop us a line. Let us know what you think. Go to the comment section below. Go and subscribe to their YouTube channel. Definitely go and check out their podcast and all content they have. And we got a lot of stuff coming. All right, guys. Have a good night.